All right, welcome back, Alpha Hunters. Hope everybody is doing well today. The markets are closed for the week of December the first trading day of December, and it is crazy how fast this year has gone by. So let's get a rundown for this week. Really, the market was kind of sluggish coming out to start the week. Monday, it didn't really do a whole lot, a little bit of a gap down, kind of just traded sideways, ended the day negative, not really a whole lot going on. Tuesday, a little bit of a gap down, traded higher in the first half of the day, pretty quickly, pretty rapidly, and then middle part of the day traded back down, and just kind of chopped back, trying to curve up there towards the end of the day. Wednesday got a nice gap up, flushed higher, and then we just traded down the whole day from there. So nice bearish action that we got to come in on the market here, and then we got a nice little gap up there on Thursday. Very choppy trade down. Then we kind of rallied towards the end of the day, especially that last like 30 minutes was a pretty strong move there on the markets. Friday, continuation of it, a little bit of a gap down, but we just kind of continued to trade higher. Got back to the kind of highs of the day. Now, what's significant about the highs of Friday is this is actually the highs of the year now. They actually did take out the July highs there on Friday, so we can take a look at that on the daily time frame. But yeah, nice little pullback, and then just kind of chopped basically into close for the week. Taking a look at that VIX. Yep, the VIX got crushed last week. We know that. This week didn't really do a whole lot. Just kind of stayed down at these lower levels. Didn't really drop off anymore. Didn't really spike up all much. This week that you see on Tuesday was really, I mean, there wasn't really much trading that revolved around that. It was a really quick blip. So I don't even know if that's an actual real wick, but it's real enough to leave it on the chart for a couple days. So, but all you need to know is there wasn't much volatility this week. The DXY, the dollar index, really the most important thing here is we did continue to drop as we started the week, and we got into a very nice retracement level. If you've seen on the live stream, I've kind of talked about this kind of spot, the 62 level. This is, some people call it the golden pocket. Nice little retracement all the way down to that. So kind of talked about that on the live stream this week, even some last week, and then we got a nice bounce because basically right there early Wednesday trading, we basically hit that level and then bounced. So came up to the 10 daily moving average. Very nice strong move there on Thursday. I would be a lot more willing to sit on my hands here on the DXY and just see what kind of sets up going forward. GLD or gold. Well, most important thing here on gold is not really even on the GLD. So we need to kind of go to the gold futures, but I want to show you as I zoom out here is, well, we haven't hit an all-time high here on the GLD. So it's always kind of good to understand where you are. If you're playing a commodity ETF, where is the commodity? And what's very important to understand, on Friday, it hit an all-time high. Gold is at an all-time high. So basically any pullbacks are going to be met with very strong buying. So I would say, you know what, not bad. Not to say that you're going to chase it, but not bad thing to go ahead. You know, maybe throw some into this and say, hey, you know what, if we get a pullback, then I'll put a pretty good sizable position in, because you can see gold, you know, even on Monday, or GLD here on Monday, nice breakout. So yeah, this goes back a ways. I go to a weekly chart here on GC here on the gold futures, and you can see we've had a very nice 3-4 years here of consolidation up at these levels, and really, I mean, going back to basically 2011 is about the first time we kind of got up into this area. Now, was that the all-time high? No, we actually hit the all-time high back here in 2020, and then we broke it here on Friday. So yeah, I mean, if we're setting up pretty good breakout here. I mean, this looks like a very nice cup, very nice handle, and this is long-term. So gold might be on set up for a pretty good run here. That's kind of what I want to say here about gold. So, you know, whether you're playing that straight on the commodities side through currencies or buying physical, I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend doing it through the GLD, just a lot more liquid and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, gold looks pretty good. 10-2 inversion was looking pretty good. Came down middle part of the week. It's kind of where we bounced on Thursdays right here. last October highs, continuing to push down. Seems like we just want to come down to a lower level. Okay, fine. Maybe come down to this spot here around 4.1, maybe 4 flat. So maybe eventually get down there. Kind of an interesting look here. I don't expect yields to just absolutely just drop off. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But, I mean, that's going to be really good for bonds. Will that be good for the market? It depends on what the story kind of revolves around with yields dropping. Because I can go a lot of different ways here. If yields drop, obviously that's high level bullish for the market, but it's also kind of not, because that also might mean that we're going right into a recession. So it's going to depend on what the story is going forward, and we're starting to see a lot more of that data kind of come out and percolate that recession might be coming relatively soon. And by relatively soon, maybe first half of next year. 10-2 inversion, nice move up here on the 10-2 inversion. Basically all week, the 2-year yield was getting smashed compared to that 10-year yield. So yeah, 10-2 inversion is starting to look like it's showing some signs of life again. HYG, very nice move on bonds basically the whole week. Nice bullish moves. It got above basically the past like 6-7 months of highs there on Wednesday, and then had a very sharp pullback. But Friday, with those yields dropping off, and there was a lot of movement on yields and bonds. Even the market around the mid-morning time frame, mostly because Jerome Powell was talking, so that's where you got a lot of bonds moving as well. So the LQD doing pretty good there also. Nice move higher. What about that TLT action? Yeah, TLT had a good day. So, bonds are starting to look a little bit good. I just don't think yields are going to kind of drop off as much as what they're showing, and I'd probably imagine they start to rest here going forward. The next 2 weeks, we're going to get some pretty good data, so we'll see what kind of comes out of here on bonds. All right, take a look at sector rotation for the week. You wouldn't really know it, but real estate's been really good, especially over the past few weeks while yields, and we just talked about yields have been coming down as much as they have been, so real estate's been doing pretty good. Materials also outperforming this week. Industrials and financials outperforming, discretionaries outperforming, utilities outperforming. In line with the market, staples a little bit underperforming there. Tech, healthcare, energies, big time underperformer for the week. Communications, Google and Meta got hit pretty good there in the middle part of the week. Now, one thing I'm going to show you real quick, I'm going to go back to basically Thanksgiving week there. I'm going to look from the open on Wednesday. I want to kind of show you this. Tech has really been underperforming. That's really big tech. Big tech's been underperforming. You see the XLC, XLK since the Wednesday of Thanksgiving week, November 22nd. Big tech has been underperforming pretty good, and you're going to see that discretionaries barely made a move there on Friday just to get back to outperforming the market. So kind of interesting that we're seeing a lot of flows into that other 98% of the stock market, or at least the S&P 500. So kind of an interesting one, because it will be harder for the stock market to keep going higher if the biggest weighting stocks don't continue to push higher. And taking a look here at the Qs versus IWM, this is something I kind of mentioned here a couple of weeks ago, that this looks like a really, really good time to maybe, if you know how to do pairs trade, to maybe put this on, and it worked out really well there on Friday. So might be seeing that turn there on that Qs versus IWM type of relationship. And this could work out for a while, because, we have a pretty good uptrend through most of the 2000s that we have gotten pretty far deviated away from. And I could definitely see us having a pretty good pullback here over the next couple of years down to some kind of trend line through the 2010 type of trading. All right, take a look here. Week over week options change. And, well, we saw quite a bit of puts get entered this week. A lot of puts getting bought. So it's kind of interesting, especially for this next, Friday, the 8th, and then the Friday after that, the December 15th. That's the monthly expiration. So there's quite a bit of put options there, which is kind of interesting. Not a lot of big time call activity. There was quite a bit of puts out there for January 19th as well. So yeah, just kind of interesting to see. There's not a lot of activity except for really that December monthly. A lot of puts getting entered in there, and we are going to have quite a bit of information here over the next week and a half, really, because we'll get jobs towards the end of this next week, and then we'll get jolts the next week, and then we'll also get the Fed, making another interest rate decision. I believe that will be December 13th. So it'll be interesting to hear what's going on, what they're thinking, and all that kind of stuff. All right, take a look here at the RSP, the equal weight SP 500. Yeah, kind of like what we were looking at earlier, man. It's just a lot of the big tech stuff not really helping out here recently, mostly over the past week and a half. But on Friday, man, everything else in the S&P 500 was crushing it. So nice move there on the RSP, getting it above this kind of downtrend line I have. We got through this once before, and then we rolled over down from there. So we'll see. I mean, we're still in a downtrend. Don't think this is like a reversal. We're taking out anything. We're still in a downtrend, so just be a little bit cautious about that. And we're also seeing leadership away from big tech, but the RSP looking pretty good here. We definitely had a slow grind here over the past couple of weeks up to this level, but then we just exploded through that downtrending line. Very nice move there on the RSP today. DIA, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Well, what's really interesting about the Dow Jones? New yearly high was on Thursday. Friday just continued it, and yeah, looking pretty good, and probably making a way back up to all-time highs that we put in back in 2022, very beginning of the year that year. So we're getting pretty close to all-time highs here on the Dow Jones. Definitely has shocked me here over the past month just how bullish this one has been, especially. IWM up 3% on Friday. Very nice move. Nice little consolidation from some strong moves that happened earlier in the first half of November. Second half of November, not really much going on. It's just very choppy, very consolidation. It's just all at once just took off, just exploded. Champagne, cork pop, all that. So, but if you're seeing this, you weren't in on that move. I mean, this isn't really going to be a great spot to get in because this is going to be another support and resistance zone, and that's just kind of how things go. Is things just kind of get to these zones, they consolidate, and then they very quickly go to another zone, or they go back to the zone they came from. So we'll see how this kind of sets up here. But yeah, this is not going to be the best spot to be looking to be bullish on the IWM. Definitely want to see how it sets up here in the next day, 2, maybe even a week. Qs, the triple Q. So like I mentioned, the first half of November was very strong, even 2/3 of the way through the month of November. But yeah, the past week and a half, the Qs have not been doing anything. Like even on Friday, I mean, you saw that the RSP was up good, the IWM was up good, even the Dow Jones was up really good. The Qs, not really, and they looked a little bit more rollover-ish, especially that middle part of the week. Wednesday, Thursday was trying to break down through that 10 EMA. Friday, there was some fighting going on there, to try to keep it above that 10 EMA. So, yeah, kind of an interesting one. But I couldn't imagine the market's going to continue to push higher if Qs aren't going to be leading it in big tech. The SPY, new yearly high here on the SPY. Didn't close, or yeah, we did close. Well, no, we didn't. Well, it's a new yearly closing high. But we didn't close over that high that we had in July. Not really a big deal. Just wanted to kind of note that. But yeah, nice move today. Like I mentioned earlier, all the other stocks in the SP 500 or in the market besides big tech were really performing very well. Really for most of this week, and especially there on Friday, very strong. That was coming off the back of Jerome Powell even mentioning not really interested in raising rates. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting spot. I don't know. I'm not really interested in this move, but it's one that there's a lot of momentum behind it. But momentum can change very quickly, and we have a couple of data points coming up this next week. Mostly jobs will be the big one. We're gonna have JOLTS. Oh, I thought it was gonna be JOLTS. I thought JOLTS was gonna be next Tuesday. It's gonna be Tuesday like the 12th. I think it's gonna be the 5th here. We're also gonna get ISM services PMI. Not really a big deal, but JOLTS will be a big one. People will pay attention to that one. Non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, those two will be huge. Those will be next Friday. Very important. That'll be right before the Fed. Then we're also going to have the consumer sentiment survey. Not really a big deal, all that much. It's kind of like a reverse psychology survey, more than anything else. And then we're going to get CPI this December 12th. And then the following day, we will get the Fed. And we'll get PPI as well. So we'll get PPI and Fed then that following Wednesday, December 13th. That will be kind of a pretty busy stretch here for the next week and a half on data, because a lot of that the Fed does look at and will give us a pretty good indication just how well the economy is really doing, especially on that job side. Jobs have been ticking up here over the past couple weeks, couple months. So our unemployment has been. So Alpha Hunters, have a great weekend. Take care, and we'll see what goes on next week.